South Texas and show you what's happening with those showers and storms coming inland right now from the western Gulf of Mexico with that easterly flow. Corpus Christi and Brownsville over towards Laredo and also over towards Del Rio. The showers are going to be persistent here for the next 24 hours. Could be looking at some flooding conditions developing here if this rain does become very persistent within the next 1 to 1.5 days. We'll take you off and show you what's happening now across the islands. Again, we are looking at an upper trough or beginning to interact right now with an upper low, which is causing a lot of convection here. But keep in mind, we're looking at winds aloft still very, very strong from the west and northwest. That is going to be the scene now probably for the next 24 to 48 hours. We expect nothing to organize here anytime soon. And if we look farther eastward, you can see another tropical wave trying to make its way on towards the west. And once again, that's going to be encountering some very strong winds from the west and northwest. So it looks like nothing organizing there. Trying to come off the coast of Africa is another very healthy wave, but you can see one wave after another. It just encounters that strong westerly shear. And once again, we are looking at basically the tropical Atlantic right now, pretty much on the dead side. It looks like not much is going to be happening here anytime soon. Let's take you off and show you what's happening into the Pacific Ocean right now. And very specifically, we're going to talk about Nora right there off the coast of Mexico right now. Big comeback during the last 12 hours. Last evening, and less than 12 hours ago, we saw Nora's winds at about 75 miles per hour. Then we saw some deep convection develop around the center of circulation. And look what's happened as you look at the 5 o'clock advisory this morning, Pacific Daylight Time. 16.6 degrees north, 107.8 degrees west, and top winds now 105 miles per hour, northwesterly bound at 7. Deep convection right around the center of circulation. We've got hurricane warnings right now for these islands off the coast of Mexico, and looks like coastal flood watches and warnings will continue here as well for the next several hours. Marshall?
And that's not good. The season, we have several waves, but all of these waves are encountering what we call a shearing environment. Strong westerly winds, inordinately strong for this time of year, and inordinately south of where they normally are. Is it because of El Nino? There's some school of thought that says perhaps it is. I think school's really still out on the subject, but certainly the weather patterns are certainly different this tropical season than what we've seen over the last couple. Very active 2 years ago, and last year was active as well. Last year was very active too late in the year. Remember, we had several in the month of November. We have an upper level low out here in the southwestern Gulf of Mexico. That is not going to develop into a tropical storm, but it is bringing an incredible amount of moisture into South Texas, which means there's a possibility for some flooding down along the Rio Grande River and out into West Texas. And we have moisture streaming northward, monsoonal moisture, into Arizona, and that's being aided and abetted by this moisture producer in the way of Hurricane Nora that is pulling Pacific moisture northward. Out in the Atlantic, we have an area of showers and thunderstorms that's persisted off the coast of Florida for the last several days, and even if that were to develop, it would probably be diverted out to sea, but it is not likely to become a tropical storm in the near future. And we have a wave of low pressure that's interacting with an upper level system over the Lesser Antilles, which is causing rain to fall. So east of Florida, over the Bahamas, tropical storm formation not likely, tropical storm formation likely not here with that upper level low. And over the islands, look at this strong shear. See these clouds moving from west to east? That's what we mean by shear. It's blowing off the tops of those storms. Another wave moving off Africa we'll be watching as it moves into a hostile upper air environment. There's Nora. Nora's center of circulation is at 17.0 north, 108.4 west, 420 miles south-southeast of Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. Its winds are 125 miles per hour now. That makes it a Category 3 hurricane, moving northwest at 10 miles per hour. It's a majestic view. Looks like a tighter eye down in the larger eye that we've watched get smaller over the last 12 to 18 hours. There are coastal flood warnings that are in effect from Cabo Corrientes to Punta Maldonado, and for a couple of islands off the Mexican coast, including the island of Socorro, we have hurricane warnings in effect. They were watches, they are now warnings. Some of the outer bands of rain trying to make it onshore. Big, deep convection cold top clouds south of the eye. And again, forecast to move northwest, then a more northerly track, and it means more moisture is going to spill into the southwestern part of the country because of Hurricane Nora. Kristen?
And join.
I'm Dennis Smith. Welcome to Exposures.